I'm gonna try to keep my comments as brief as possible to respect everybody's time. I think I still have I just don't really understand why it says Board of Education trips, and then we have a second item that is for staff and students, but under Board of Education, we have staff. Like, so when we're approving the trips, if you go to 501A, it's staff. It's not approving Board of Education members on trips. So it's very confusing the way that's presented. Can you help me better understand or?
Thank you, Madam President. That's just the way we have always listed it that way. So it's been just a standard practice.
Yeah, and so I would like to explore
If I may.
yeah.
Yes, and one more part with that is the reason why it's stated that way because the Board of Education approves all of these conferences that are out of state per our board policy with out of state travel.
Okay, and so what's the key because we're approving 501A and 502A, which is both of them are trips. So what's the difference? Because
Yes. So when you have staff and also if you were to have any board members going to out of state conferences or any administrative staff or anybody, any employee, it would be listed here. And in 502A, that's specifically the students and also quantifying the number of chaperones that would be going on the trip as well in
Okay.
502A.
Okay, so I see staff on 502A, and for me, it seems logical that we would have all staff and students under 502A instruction.
Excuse me, I have a point of order. It's going beyond the scope of just 501A. This could be easily be a board inquiry about the differences and the questions she has. She needs to stick with 501A.
Thank you. And so for 501A, I want to explore other options so that it's only Board of Education. And the reason why I'm
A
bringing this
point of
up,
order again, this
It's-
goes beyond the scope of the agenda item. We should be only speaking about approving that one conference that's on here. You're going above
thank you so
beyond.
much. Ms. Copado, can you please come up here? Because she continues to interrupt me when I'm discussing 501A. So am I not allowed to ask questions about this?
You're sticking to you pulled 501A, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So ask any questions that are relevant to 501A.
Thank you so much. Ms. Laura, stop interrupting me. This is your first warning.
I'm sorry, can I ask Ms. Capado a question?
After I'm done and you have, you just
So-
interrupted me again, ma'am. So, I could either throw you out for continuing the behavior, or you could just wait till I'm done. I don't want to do that, okay? So when I'm done, you're welcome to talk,
As long
okay?
as you talk about the conference of the
Okay,
behavior, the point
thank
of.
you so much, ma'am. So now we had a second warning. The third time you're gonna get removed for cutting me off, okay? And to remind people, you speak when the chair addresses you. You could raise your finger or your hand as usual. And so 501A, what I'm asking is, I have concerns that in the past, this issue has not had board members' trips on there. We've raised it many times, and so I want to improve the transparency of this item by, it should really only be itemizing board trips in this area. And so I want clear understanding of the law surrounding this. Yes, you could send me a board inquiry because I do know we have the right to change things. We're the board. So that's just a concern that I have. Maybe people don't agree because they didn't pull it, but that's a concern I have. And I've actually said that concern many times on the record here. Miss Loera. Actually, you made a big deal about talking, so this is your chance, ma'am.
Okay, so,
Excuse me, Madam President, there was never a motion for this item. So we need a motion and a second before the discussion.
Pulled 501A.
Yes. So you
That's
need a
correct.
motion. You need a motion for it because now you pulled it. So
That's what I
you're
was-
dealing with it individually. So you need a motion and a second, and then you can call for
Okay,
discussion.
wonderful. So every single one, we're gonna do that, right? Okay,
That is correct.
great. So should I read it out and then do the motion?
Move.
Okay, so I'll read it out to follow the policies. 501A, Board of Education, approve and or ratify attendance of staff members at conferences, meetings, workshops as listed. Dr. Jimenez, can I get a motion?
I move.
I'll second it. Discussion. We had the discussion. Ms. Lloyd, I think you had something that you really wanted to say?
yeah, so it's, once again, it's still a point of order, so you allowed me to speak. Ms. Capado said if you have relevant information about this agenda item, the agenda item is only that we vote is what we're going to vote on. What we're going to vote on, it's the conference meeting workshop for the IEB, for the principals and everybody else here. That is what we should be discussing, not about changing policies, changing headings. That should be done separately, not right now. This is beyond the agenda item, which is what Ms. Capado, has to be relevant to the agenda item. If you want to know reasons why this is done, the headings, whatever, it should be a board inquiry. If you want to make changes, that should be some sort of a board policy or something else. But this goes above the agenda item. We should only be speaking about whether we should approve this conference meeting / workshop.
Thank you for your opinion. Someone else? Mr. Kwok?
So I don't see any ambiguity or misleading aspect about 501A because it says Board of Education dash approve and or ratify attendance by staff members at conferences, meetings, workshops. Listen, these are staff members. This to me is crystal clear. I yield.
Thank you. And so, yes, the reason why I'm asking this is because it's not crystal clear. We've actually had many times where board members get approved on trips after we approved this and their name was not on this list. So that's why I'm bringing it up. And I will continue to follow up on this matter, so it's not a problem with me. Ms. Quinones?
Okay, as you guys always say, I'm the new one, so I'm looking at this with fresh set of eyes. Could perhaps we consider putting a parenthesis under Board of Education? That meaning that the Board of Education needs to approve this. Because the way it is right now, it appears to me that it may be misinterpreted. So if we want to get clarity as far as communication, maybe we can put it in parentheses. I don't know, it's just a suggestion.
If I may, and I'm going to try to stick just to this item, the way it is. So this one is to approve out-of-state travel. So we have board policies on approval of out-of-state travels. In the past, when any board member has gone to any out-of-state travel, that has been listed here. So yes, perhaps under staff member, perhaps we could put, employees or, board members on it because this is where we have placed it. We have placed it here if there has been a board member. I can't recall there being any single trip for out-of-state travel for any board member that was not placed here. And if you have an example of one where that occurred, please let me know because all out-of-state travel would have been on here for every single board member listed with the staff members.
Okay, so what you're saying for clarification, it would include board members under this particular item. Okay, I can see where the confusion is now. I
Yeah.
can see that. So it should, if I was to do this, I would say approve travel, including board members. Right, right.
Yeah, so I mean, I understand it's Board of Education trips. That's what we're approving. That's what it says. Board of Education approve it and ratify attendance. Board of Education. So the reason I bring this up because yes, board members have went on trips that we didn't approve. And then it came back later once they already went on a trip. So that's where the ambiguity is. And I think I got my point across and I think we could continue to work on this outside of this meeting.
Quick.
Mr. Kwok.
Thank you. This item as listed is absolutely 100% accurate. If there was a board member here, you just add board member. Not a big deal, right? And then that'd be accurate.
It's confusing.
Well, no, it's actually a literal interpretation. It's absolutely correct. But if there was a board member was added or somebody else just put in board member, then again, that'd be accurate. Thank you very much. I yield back.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Quinones, for confirming that is very ambiguous. So we're going to go ahead and take a vote on this item.
Mr. De La Torre,
Aye.
Ms. Loera,
Yes.
Ms. Quinones,
Aye.
Mr. Kwok,
Yay.
Ms. Serrano.
Aye, motion passes 5-0.